everyone, it's Christian, and I am joined with Corey today.
I guess.
That's right. Corey is sitting down, and we are about to review One Piece. But the ending of this chapter got me really excited for a few things. I'm just jumping into the end, because that's the part I really want to talk about. Everything else seems sort of like wrapping up and like thanking Zoro, and you got to see the princess see Dressrosa for the first time and things like that. But the end is really where the meat of all this chapter was. We have Luffy defeating Bellamy, and we have Bellamy sort of accepting the defeat and, you know, always sort of admiring Luffy, just like he always does. And then we have Doflamingo getting ready for Luffy to come around the corner and start their fight, but he has an very dark thing he says at the end where Law is defeated, or dead. Do you think he's actually dead?
No, but only because there's no way they're going to be able to kill off an important character like that off screen unless they want to do some sort of like retroactive like flashback, kind of like what they did with Zoro this week's chapter, where you got to see after he defeated Pika, there was a scene where he was talking with Mihawk during his training, where they explained that he can infuse his swords with Haki. This was teased in last week's chapter, where you can actually see, if you paid attention, his swords were indeed covered with black Haki when he was cutting up Pika.
Yes. Yeah, and that's also, I think you were saying this right before we started this review, all the Straw Hats are kind of coming into their Haki in this arc.
Little by little, you know, the characters who've shown that off the most have definitely been Zoro and Usopp in the Dressrosa arc, but I feel it's really only a matter of time before each member of the Straw Hat Pirates have, like, their own individualized form of Haki, or they're able to use it in, like, some form or fashion, but I'm kind of in agreement with you where this week's chapter, really all I really was excited for was the last couple of pages, which was still the battle between Luffy and Bellamy. And Bellamy will not accept the fact that, like, Luffy is trying to help him whatsoever. At least he's not going to outright admit it out loud to him. In fact, there's a lot of inner monologuing from him this week when Luffy finally does defeat him, which is a fantastic callback to their original fight, because Luffy beats him in one punch just like he did back in the day. And, you know, it pisses me off because Luffy could have done this from the beginning. I mean, he clearly had the ability. It's just he wanted to do everything in his power to try to get through to Bellamy. It just wasn't going to work. And the action at the very end I thought was really good. I especially love the artwork and the attention to detail. Just the fist marks in Bellamy's face I thought looked really cool. I really love moments like that. But yeah, it's all about that final moment where Luffy's like, alright, I'm done with this shit. I'm knocking out Bellamy. Bellamy finally accepts that Luffy's been trying to help him out, and he accepts him as a friend. He just doesn't say it out loud. And then we have that Law scene, which isn't even a scene. It's just Doflamingo in the corner in the final panel mentioning, ooh, Straw Hat's going to be really excited when he gets up here and he sees this dead body, the death of Law. There's no way they're going to kill off that character like that.
He did get some intense flashbacks, though, before we cut away to some of the other fights. So, could he be dead? Yes, it's within the realm of possibility. Most likely, though, no. You don't just off-screen a character like that, especially one of the... obviously, he's not a Straw Hat crew, but he almost feels like one in some way because he's been traveling with them for 2 arcs straight.
He's Trafalgar Law. He's a D, son. There's no way he's going to be killed off that easily. But
you
if he is, though,
down the D.
No. But what's really strange, though, is, you know, Luffy's already, like, super pissed. You can tell in that final panel when he's screaming Doflamingo's name. The artwork in that scene looks fantastic. He's had enough. It's time for him to fight. So if he does go up there and Law is dead, this is going to be like the Super Saiyan moment for Luffy, I think. You know, because, I mean, he's endured some pretty serious deaths at this point. But I think Dressrosa is really pushing him to his limits.
And also, I feel like as Luffy has gotten stronger, his ability to, like, handle bad things has gotten better, too. You know, like, he has a better... He's always happy-go-lucky, and that's been very true to this arc. He's been upset. He's taken people seriously, but he hasn't been pushed to a breaking point. You know, he hasn't been, like, mad with rage yet. You know, he's just taken characters very seriously. So I feel like this is the time where Luffy's going to just go all out. And it's about time. This arc has gone on for a long time. And I feel like now that we're getting to the end, the pace of this arc is, like, speeding up almost triple what it used to be.
I mean, now that Pika's been defeated by Zoro, you know, effectively, that's what I always like to consider. I'm like, when is an arc in One Piece going to end? Oh, Zoro just had his fight. That means Luffy's up next, and we're probably going to be reaching the end very soon.
Sanji's not around, so...
Exactly. So that means we're probably not going to get anything with him, which... it's obvious that the author is saving all of the Sanji and the Big Mom stuff for some sort of, like, big, like, shocking twist when Dressrosa's over. That's going to be, like, the beginning of the next arc where they're going to have to go and save them, and I really can't wait to see where that's going. Despite that, I'm really excited for Luffy versus Doflamingo, And even though Pika's been defeated and a lot of the other top executives are gone, there's still Treble, who's still just hanging around and mostly just reacting. But I did not expect that he was going to be one of the last ones standing, and there might be another twist for this character. I really think that Treble is way more powerful than they let on.
Well, of course he is. He's the second one left, so of course he's super powerful. I almost see Treble as like a father figure to Doflamingo almost, or like equal on some level. So, and who's gonna fight him? Everyone versus him?
That's the thing, because I've been trying to like figure out who's going to be fighting who throughout this entire arc, and Treble has fought against multiple people throughout this entire arc. There's never been like one consistent opponent for him,
and usually one. Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be Nico Robin at first, and it wasn't Nico Robin. And who knows, maybe it could possibly go in that direction. But we're just going to have to wait and see. All I know is this week's chapter was okay. Basically just more reinforcement, seeing the destruction of Dressrosa, Princess Mancherry finally seeing everything, wanting to heal King Riku, but he's a badass with one leg. He's not going to let that happen. And then Luffy versus Bellamy. That fight is now officially over, and definitely the highlight of this week's chapter, which featured some really fantastic artwork.
I'm going to rate this chapter a 3 out of 5 for me.
I'm going to go for 3 out of 5 as well. Just kind of a good average chapter of One Piece that's a really good setup. And they're dropping a nice little bombshell at the end for Law, who could possibly be dead.
He's not dead.
No.
Not my prediction completely. I don't have the facts, but I know he's not dead. That's not the way the story's written. Oh, one other thing I wanted to say is, if he is dead, or, you know, there's been a lot of death lately in One Piece, which I feel like is kind of like not normal. So maybe we're seeing with this arc and the new world a very darker tone to One Piece. And I'm actually kind of excited about that, because Luffy's happy-go-lucky attitude and the whole Straw Hat crew, you know, they're like the bringers of peace and life and happiness, you know, but there's just obviously a lot of dark forces in the One Piece world that we're actually getting to see do things. And in some ways, Doflamingo is the exact opposite of Luffy. So I'm very excited about this fight.
I'm glad that you bring that up, too, because I'm not sure if it was a scene from Dressrosa or if it was a scene from Punk Hazard. I think it was Punk Hazard when basically Zoro has to give Luffy the pep talk. He's like, look, we're in the new world now. We can't screw around anymore. We got to start taking things a little more serious, and that's really what the Dressrosa arc is trying to do. Things are getting a little edgier. Now, I don't want them to get really dark. I don't want things to turn into freaking Gotham City or anything.
Berserk
or anything on Berserk level. I still think there needs to be a little bit of lightheartedness to One Piece to allow it to work properly. And that mostly will shine through in the character design, but I really wouldn't mind a little bit more edge. And still, this was just a fun, average, action-packed chapter of One Piece that you should definitely check out if you're a fan of the manga version or if you've been watching the anime version of the series.
Yeah, you guys, so thank you so much for watching a review today. If you would, give the video a thumbs up. Follow us on Facebook, like us on Twitter, or switch that, you know what I meant. Also, we have a podcast called The Powerful Nerdcast, so go check that out. Corey, you're going to put a link to that at the end of the video?
It'll be also in the description box below, so check that out.
That is right. And we also have an Amazon Associates link. If you click it, you go to Amazon, and anything you buy, we get a percentage of that. So it's a great way to help out the channel without having to actually donate. But speaking of donations, if you do want to donate, you can use our PayPal link in the description box below. So thank you guys for watching our review today, and until next time, Super Kami Guru 9000 out.
Law's dead.